Hi, welcome to the Shelley Studio, and today I'm going to play with my new little set of Daniel Smith watercolors. I found out from somebody else on YouTube that Michael's had a set, so I thought I'd go check it out. And I actually got lucky because that day they were having a 60% off one item coupon, so that helped a lot because Daniel Smith is not cheap. So I decided to do the watercolor chart with the blending and stuff. I've never really done one, I've just kind of gone for it. So I'm going to try, and it talks about different ways of creating mixtures. One of them is to mix on the paper, and the other one is glazing. I didn't really have a flat tray at the moment clean that I could mix colors, so I figured I would do the mix color on paper and then mix with glazing. Yeah. Sorry, my brain's not working. So there are 6 colors, and I think it's supposed to be cool primaries and warm primaries, but I wasn't really thinking that at the time. I just put them in the order that they were in my container, which is not the order on the chart, and I didn't realize it. So, not that it really matters, because everything gets mixed with everything. But here is the list of colors that comes in the package at Michael's. It's got Hansa Yellow Light, New Gamboge, Pyrrole Scarlet, Quinacridone Rose, Phthalo Blue, and French Ultramarine. Oh, the Phthalo Blue is green shade. I know that matters, sort of. Okay, so you can see I'm like wetting the squares, and then I'm putting both colors and kind of blending it a little bit. The other ones I'm gonna let dry and then do a glaze of the other colors. So the bottom half will be done after the top half. Hope that makes sense. Anyway, if you don't want to watch me blending, I do a watercolor at the end of this. You can just fast forward a little ways. Sorry, I don't know the timing yet because I edit on my iPad, so I don't have that. Anyway, so yeah, I was really excited to get these Daniel Smith watercolors, and they come with a bottle of watercolor ground that says titanium. This is me trying to get out of the package so I can read it. Yeah, sorry. Noisy, sorry. Okay, yeah, titanium white watercolor ground. I've never actually used watercolor ground, so it'll be fun to try it out. You know, it was actually kind of fun to mix on the paper. You don't get quite as accurate a mix. And the glazing I really didn't care for at all. I'd rather mix on a palette. But when I did the mixing on the squares themselves, I really liked the mottled effect, the little changes. I think that has to do with them being Daniel Smith's and mixing this way on the paper. Like I said, though, it's not as precise because you're just like, anyway. So how do you guys mix your watercolors? Do you go through and do this process to see what they're going to be like, or do you just start painting? Like I said, I normally just start painting, but I'm not like a trained watercolorist or anything. I just like playing with them. Okay, so now I'm going to go through and do the glazing. So I'm mixing the row with the column. Does that make sense? So row 3, I'm taking that color and going across all the ones on the bottom section. And then row 4, I'm doing the same thing, trying to keep it kind of thin so that you can see the colors underneath. The glazing's a lot faster than the mixing was. A lot less dipping in the water. You can see I'm using my spray bottle because, you know, it was available. So here's a close-up. See the granulation and the mixing? It's kind of fun. So there's my color palette or chart. And now I'm going to take that and put it where I can see it. And I decided I was going to do a watercolor, and I was actually going to mix on the watercolor itself, which was a lot of fun, but I'm not sure how effective it was. I decided I wanted some purpley sky, so this is what I did. And I decided to shake it around so it didn't look like brush strokes, because it could look like the Northern Lights-ish, sort of. Now I'm going to put in a mountain, and my watercolor paper is way too wet. Everything's going to start bleeding. So I probably should have done the sky, let it dry, then move on. But I just wanted to play, so I just keep going. It was really fun to make that green on the paper. It's kind of more yellow than green, but you get the idea. And I've lost my mountains. Because here I decided we're going to add some flowers, so I'm splattering. You know how splatters can get away from you. They're just going all over the place. You can see that bottom area where it's not actually wet, it's just sort of laying in dots. And so I just go in there and dab it with the paintbrush. And now I'm making green. I think I was trying to make a brown, kind of a neutral color to look like dirt. And just give the bottom of this painting something to stand on. When I did the sky, I was thinking I was going to keep a white outline, but when I got to the ground, I got carried away and went right off the page, which is how I normally paint, is right off the page. So I've got two different things going on there, which is a little distracting, I guess. And here we're just fixing our mountains, adding some shading and firming up the top because it kind of disappeared. And then we'll turn that blue spot into a mountain in the background. And yes, if you get too heavy-handed with the water, you end up with blooms, which is, this page has a lot of blooming on it. It can be fun, and it can be annoying. That's why I should practice more. Okay, so right here I'm going to get really brave, and I'm going to make a tree line and make my green on the page. I was like, oh well, if it looks blue, it'll just look like it's far away, right? But the idea is to turn it into trees. And yeah, I really do get too much water on my brush, honestly. But there's my green. Decided I needed more green on the ground. And here I just add a little bit more definition to some flowers. Not a lot. It's still kind of splattery looking. then this is actually, I'm trying to straighten it. It's actually the next day. I decide my tree area looks a little too dark. In fact, part of it looks like a mountain. So I'm gonna try and lift. I've added a little water. I let it sit for a little bit. And then I'm just taking a paper towel and lifting some of that color. Some comes up, some doesn't. But I think it kind of makes it look like layers of trees. Maybe? Anyway. I wasn't sure I liked it, so I'm adding yellow back in. You have to tell me if you liked it before I lifted some color and added yellow or after. I'm undecided. What's done is done, I guess, but I'm curious. I put a little shading on the bottom, and that about wraps it up. So, yeah, if you're interested in some inexpensive Daniel Smith, well, okay, it's still expensive. Watch for a coupon at Michael's and check it out. And if you liked my video, please hit like, feel free to comment, share, and if you'd like to see more from me and you haven't already, please subscribe and hit that bell icon so you'll get notified whenever I upload. Thanks for watching!